Here's another breaking video about it. Right here. ICE shooting was a setup, new video, and victim's family agree it was her fault. Let's get into it, people.
To create this exact powder keg. The only way the left could have scripted this better is if the driver of that vehicle was non-white. They were probably really bummed that it was a white woman. At least she was LGBTQ, they probably said. This is a woman whose husband passed away, has 3 kids with 2 different dads, and now apparently she's into women, okay? She spent her day driving around, harassing ICE while her wife, her girlfriend, was filming it. The entire point of what this woman was doing was to get this clip. Obviously, she probably didn't think she was going to die. But the entire purpose of this was to entrap ICE, to get ICE to, use excessive force so that they could then justify the riots that are happening today. Make no mistake about it. Keep your eyes wide open. This stuff is funded by out of state. Most of the people I talk to in Minnesota want nothing to do with this. This is an operation to draw attention away from the fraud that is going on in Minnesota. That Tim Walz has now been criminally referred to the Department of Justice for criminal charges. This was completely coordinated. It's the same reason you see the exact same protesters marching in Seattle yelling death to ICE. It's the same reason you see all of these people. You've got, a woman who, was in Colorado, then Missouri, then Minnesota. Her own family came out and said she should never have been there. They had no idea what a woman with...
That's the same woman was following ICE agents everywhere they went to, people. So she was not a victim, okay? She was doing that shit because she was getting this from the Democrat Party. Okay, even though her husband died, she was still getting paid by the Democrats to cause trouble. NBC News, ABC, CNN, News 10, News 19. Hear me out. Listen and listen well. I'm calling y'all out. Y'all can't get your fucking story straight. Shut the fuck up about shit. That's plain and simple. Y'all out here giving false information about shit. And this is showing we people, we YouTubers, have to set the fucking record straight because y'all fucking don't get it right. I'm people the only channel that'll drop their fucking cuss words out like that. NBC News, you're a fucking idiot. CNN, you a piece of shit. News 10, fuck yourselves. News 19, jump off the bridge. You might get a better story that way. All y'all Democrat owned news stations, The View, do all us a favor and retire. This woman was following ICE everywhere they went. Her own fucking family said she shouldn't be there. But she did that because she was getting paid by Tim Walz and Il Omar. And all the other Democrats was paying her. The one thing they did get right out of this thing, she was LBG community, which, yeah, that'll get an uproar for people who are stupid believing that shit right there anyway. But back to the video.
3 kids was even thinking doing what she did. You're well within your rights to protest, of course. And even if you and I disagree about ICE, right? I want everyone deported, everyone. You may not want anyone deported. But can we at least agree that you shouldn't be putting your hands on law enforcement officers?
Damn right.
You should not be blocking them with your vehicle. You should
right.
not be accelerating rapidly towards them. This woman could have continued to protest all she wanted, but that's not what they wanted. Let me be very clear, okay? This is a new year, it's a new me, right? You're going to get a little bit more spicy takes from me. It's hard to give a damn about the next stupid Marvel movie when this stuff's happening in our country. This is what they wanted. They, the left, the far left, the people that fund these gatherings across the country. You think that all these protesters just showed up in Minnesota just by accident? No, they're coordinated and they're funded. This is a woman that spent the entire day stalking and impeding law enforcement. Why? To get this image, to get this interaction. Obviously, the left probably didn't expect her to get shot, or maybe they did. But this was a setup to get this exact situation so they could do exactly what they're doing right now, make no mistake about it. And Donald Trump better wake up. Donald Trump better send the National Guard there and squash this. He was too afraid to get involved in 2020 because he didn't want him to call him a racist. So he let BLM burn cities to the ground. Not ever again. He needs to send the National Guard in there right now to protect our law enforcement officers so that they can do their job. Minnesota withdrew their own police force. Minnesota withdrew their police and have been refusing to help journalists on the scene. Minnesota wants this to boil over because they want people to stop talking about Tim Walz and his Somali fraud, which is more than just in Minnesota, it's all across this country. Renee Nicole Good, says here, just 1 mile where George Floyd was choked to death. This is the New York Post. George Floyd overdosed. She had been stalking and impeding the agency's lawful operations for many hours leading up to this, and she brought her lesbian wife to film it all. The GHS chief said her car rolled up on an ICE vehicle that was stuck in the snow alongside a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day and attempted to block the agents. ICE officers approached the woman in the rogue vehicle, later identified as Good, and ordered her to move. She refused. Noam alleged that Good opted to weaponize her vehicle in an attempt to take the life or cause great bodily harm to agents. She slammed Good's alleged attack as an act of terror, just one of 3 that took place that same day. Did you know there's been over 100 car ramming incidents already against ICE? 100. It's unclear where or when the other vehicle rammings happened. Noam said, and President Trump said, the agent who fired on Good was injured during the attack. That, I don't know. He didn't look injured to me. But the fact of the matter is, he's an experienced officer. He's been in situations like this before, and he certainly has been out there. And he followed his training today, Noam said. DHS Honcho also says the same officer was previously dragged by an anti-ICE rioter in a similar ramming attack in June. More than 100 of these vehicle rammings against federal agents, officers, have been reported over the past few weeks. Did you know that? If you watch mainstream media, you didn't know that. 100 attacks on these agents by well-funded, well-coordinated domestic terrorists. That's who these people are. They are funded, they are coordinated, and this is what their job is to go out there and die so that Democrats can stay in power and Democrats can obfuscate the media from reporting on the widespread fraud. This was a setup. Quote, it's clear that it's being coordinated. People are being trained and told how to use their vehicles to impede law enforcement operations and then run over anybody who gets in their way when they go out there and try to disrupt peace and public safety. Americans deserve better. 100% agree. Here's a statement from the Minnesota police. Irresponsible, reckless rhetoric from political leaders attacking law enforcement has real and dangerous consequences for officers on the street. When officers are vilified, demonized, and used as political props, it fuels hostility, emboldens bad actors, and put lives directly at risk. Yeah. Well, then why are they refusing to help journalists? Wear a mask, learn to shoot, do this immediately. Antifa-linked far-left extremist accounts like Vitalist INT are telling comrades all over social media to recall the lessons of 2020 BLM Antifa riots, to engage in attacks now after the anti-ICE car rammer was dispatched. Wear a mask, learn to shoot, get an IFAK, do this immediately. Don't forget what you've learned. Wear a mask and gloves. Cover your eyebrows. ears, and hair. Stick with your crew or pick a buddy in the crowd. Never panic. Focus on your breathing. Make decisions about what to do rapidly. Just not freeze up. Be the change. This is calls for violence. 4,000 likes on this. This was a setup to unify the left's attacks. Even, you might think hell is frozen over here. Nick Sorter, journalist, Minneapolis police hung up on the phone on me when I called, when I was literally surrounded and in immediate danger. You're absolutely useless. Minnesota police is the same department that leaked to the liberal media in 2020 the claim that one of the Antifa rioters recorded on video smashing property was in fact a Trump supporter. It was completely false, but it was used by leftist influencers to lie and say BLM attacks were actually Trump supporters. They're hanging up on journalists. They're calling them agitators. Meanwhile, they're letting this crap happen again. They're stealing property and setting up blockades. Where have we seen this before? Remember Chaz and Chop? Remember that? But this is what the difference is. Kristi Noem is now threatening to pour even more DHS agents into Minneapolis amid Tim Walz's refusal to enforce laws. We've got thousands of officers there, and I'm not opposed to sending more if necessary to keep people. What do you mean? Don't wait. Don't tweet about it. Be about it. Send them. You have a man showing up outside the ICE facility in Minneapolis simply to spit on federal agents. Now he's in custody. Border Patrol Commander Bovino has arrived to support his men at the federal facility in Minneapolis. This man is always walking the walk. I mean, just get him out of there. Right? Get him out of there. 8 a.m. Radical leftists already hitting ICE agents in the streets here with Minneapolis. Why are they allowed to be close to them at all?
The ICE office is ICE.
The local law enforcement is letting them get close because they want them to be able to have a violent incident. That's what they want. You get that, right?
Entitled to less protection than the average citizen. The second-class citizens now, have we decided that we're going to put them out there as targets?
Let's see where this
That's
goes
what they are doing.
Second. And some of the audio, just for
Look at all these white women screaming.
folks at home, we don't want it to be too abrasive, and that's why we're kind of riding this a little bit. The summer of love was hot for many reasons, including the temperature. It's cold.
You have to nip this in the bud. Minneapolis PD surrendered the city to rogue leftists. 911 heard multiple death threats directed at me by a mob. Minneapolis PD pretended for 20 minutes that they were responded. Then they told me I was on my own and hung up. Even CNN is out here debunking some of these lies. Like, has hell frozen over?
You hear people screaming. How do you feel about what's going on here in Minnesota?
I'm very sad, but I'll tell you what. I think that President Trump and ICE, I think this is President Trump, Russian asset, and he's ripping our country apart.
Oh, this dumbass fucker right here. Telling me Trump's a Russian. Motherfucker, y'all getting paid by the Democrat Party to do this bullshit. Stop fucking acting like the victim. You ain't the fucking victim. Back to the video.
He's terror. And these people in Minnesota,
What, Russian?
with brown skin and brown eyes, they're doing our work. They're hardworking people. They're trying to make a living for their families. They're doing the work that nobody else will do.
Thank you. So you hear some of the anger, Wolf, of some of the folks who are here.
Watch them
Bunch
correct.
of dumbasses.
This has been going on nonstop for the last 2 hours or so. And look, they said they plan to have more actions throughout the day here. Some are mad at Trump, some are mad at ICE. It's a combination here, but it's all about the loss of life.
Wait for this.
People watched on that video. Wolf?
Absolutely, a lot of emotions there. Just to be clear, there's no evidence that Trump is a Russian asset.
CNN is even saying that. NBC, of all places, accurately reporting on this. They know.
We want to now take a closer look at the videos we just saw of the shooting incident. And joining us now to highlight some key points investigators will be looking at is NBC's Tom Winter. He covers law enforcement for us. So, Tom, we're going to start the video here, and we're going to stop it pretty quickly because there's stuff we were learning from the get-go. Again, the police chief saying this vehicle was blocking the federal agent right there.
That's right, Tom. And a big caveat, we don't know what happened before this, but they're definitely going to look at the fact this is an unmarked vehicle, but the lights are on. These are clearly members of law enforcement, so that's at least known to this driver.
Let's play the video because something else happens.
NBC News is reporting it. Trump needs to get on this immediately, and he needs to squash it. You cannot let this turn into the summer of love. Just can't do it. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.